Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for checking out the channel. Tobin here with you. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day out there. So a little bit of a follow-up from the game recap. As I was, I think the only thing we had on Tyler last night was some comments from Eric Spoelstra. Tyler did speak to the media last night, and he did say that he thinks this is going to be a couple weeks on this ankle at least. This is what he had to say, a little bit of what he had to say in the locker room.
You're going to respond, I imagine. It's just a boatload of treatment over the next few days before you decide, or told how long it's going to be.
Yeah, we'll see. Obviously, probably a couple weeks, but just going to get my treatment, stick to my routine, and I'll be back soon.
So, yeah, there Tyler has it and gives you says it's probably going to be a couple of weeks. He returned to Miami after that to go see Dr. Harlan Selznick, see where we're at with this whole situation. But, he kept using the word unfortunate. And it is. It's one of these things where it's like, he was having this great start to the season. Obviously had a lot of people that he wanted to prove wrong. He wanted to do a lot great for himself. And this is a big statement year, I think, for him in a lot of ways. And I think that he's just gone about it fantastically. He's handled the rumors great. He has handled the chemistry with his teammates great. Has been very publicly out there, supportive of everybody. And, this could have been a guy who sulked and been a big baby about it, and he hasn't been. He's quite frankly been the opposite of that. He's been everything ideal, which really shouldn't be a surprise the way that he's gone about his business in the entirety of his career. But you think about the idea that he had this fluke injury in the playoffs, diving for a loose ball, breaks his hand and is out for the playoff run, and then gets off to this fantastic start. And he's right. I mean, how many times do we see him go for that baby float? That's one of his signature spots. And Jaren Jackson Jr., who, by the way, was like a Tasmanian devil out there on the court. This dude, Jaren Jackson Jr., that guy needs to calm the hell down, putting people in headlocks and Kimura locks. I mean, do two of the J's and Jaren Jackson Jr., do the other two stand for Jaren Jiu-Jitsu? Like, what the hell is he going out there? Like, he was like, I was surprised he didn't like throw Bam into a guillotine or something like that. Either way, we see this a lot. Guy steps on another guy's foot. There's a high flyers in the sport, and for this to happen to Tyler just sucks. There's no really other way to put about it, because what can you do? It's just one of these things that's just in bad fortune. He posted on Twitter or on Instagram, and I think took it down, but had posted on Instagram after the game, we never let a hard time humble us. Deep. He's right. I think when times are hard, you almost need to be more confident in yourself. You never let that break you, and you never let that get your spirits down or any of that stuff. So it is one of those things where we're going to have to look out and see not a couple of things. One, how does Miami deal with the absence of Tyler Herro? Because a lot of this has been looked upon as this is going to be the year where they need him to take a leap. They need him and Bam. Pat Riley specifically called out Bam Adebayo and Tyler Herro to carry the load a little bit with Jimmy Butler. And I still don't think we've seen Jimmy be quite himself. We know he's banged up with a little bit of something. Bam, as we talked about in the game recap, is obviously fantastic and, has taken to his captain's role in a big way. But, Tyler is an electric scorer and, was doing a lot of great things. And we were seeing the growth that he was bringing to the game. And now all of a sudden, poof, he's out of the starting lineup. You already don't have Caleb Martin. And so where does Miami go from here? Who does Eric Spoelstra start in his place? I would guess he's going to go Jaime Jaquez if I had to just guess it, because it just feels like, first of all, he's started Jaquez already this year in place of Kevin Love. So I think he does trust him. I think that you could kind of seamlessly put him in there, let him run a little bit, let him give that energy, be that ball of energy for Miami. I think with starting Duncan Robinson, the one thing I'd say with Dunks is he just seems to be like a chameleon where he could just blend into any lineup right now, and he's finding cutters. He could obviously be the shooter and the spacer. He could, get guys involved. He can take guys off the dribble right now. Duncan just seems to be filling in a lot of voids all over the place. and there'll probably be lineups where he's going to end up closing. I don't know if I'd necessarily just start him right away and then put more of the load on Jaime handling things. I almost feel like that should be in a more mature player's hands in Duncan Robinson. But we'll see. I mean, that's the other place they could go. The other place they could obviously go is go with Josh Richardson. But the thing with Josh right now is for whatever, the offensive punch from him just isn't there right now. And with them starting Haywood Highsmith and Haywood being as great defensively as he is, you already have Jimmy and Bam. I just don't feel like you're going to have quite the punch there offensively that you would if you put in a Jaime Jaquez Jr. and kind of see where his development goes. If a Caleb Martin were to get healthy, I could see them putting him into the starting lineup in that spot too. But for right now, I think Jaime makes the most sense. I think that makes the most sense. He's balling out. We saw what kind of performance he had yesterday. Seems like everything that you do give him, good things happen. And, for that bench unit, where they're going to be able to fire the punch, it's going to be slim pickings, man. They're going to need a little bit from everybody, especially you think about Nikola Jovic is sick. Honestly, like a guy, like if they bring up like a Jamal Cain and he can kind of just give you that energy and those put back shots and find you some dirty points in those regards. But, this is not an easy loss for a Miami team that has had its ups and downs. They've been able to kind of weather the early storm, which you have to give them a lot of credit for, and especially with all the injuries that they've been dealing with. But now you also have to lose one of your best players. And we talked about this a couple of videos back about the, Spo is referring to Jimmy, Bam, and Tyler as a big three. That was supposed to be, this is not just Jimmy and Bam's team. This is not just, a two-headed monster. He looked upon this as a three-headed monster. And now one of the heads is going to be out for a couple of weeks. And the thing that's tough about these couple of weeks is it's a lot of road games. There's not that comfort of home. Guys are going to have to be, out and out on the road, and that's always tough. You get back-to-backs in the midst of that. Travel's never easy. You've already been dealing with your injuries. From a team front, it's hard to lose a guy like Tyler Herro. From an individual standpoint, you feel for Tyler Herro because, man, he is he's lived up to everything that he said he would so far this year. And for it to come into an end like that right there for a couple of weeks is absolutely, absolutely brutal. So you just hope a speedy and quick recovery for Boy Wonder, but could definitely understand the frustration from something like that happening.